This episode is brought to you by Genesis Network. With business alignments with the NBA, the Genesis Network gives you all the blockchain services and products in one spot, like an NFT marketplace protecting artists' copyrights, eliminating all problems caused from lack of protection and security in the industry. The private sale starts April 25th at just 22 cents with only 5 million tokens available, and the public sale starts May 1st. Visit genesis.network for more information, link in the description below.
This my two Satoshis. This my two Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah.
It's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. Today we are going to be looking at ApeCoin and their metaverse, Yuga Labs. I talked about it over the weekend with a lot of the live streams that I had past weekend on my channel as well as on my man Crypto Keeper's channel. So if you guys missed that, I did restream it on my channel as well. So you can check out both of those live streams. And we kind of talked about ApeCoin and the metaverse and NFTs. This is a cash grab. Well, look, beyond that, I think this is where we are right now is reminiscent of 2017 for me, the ICO boom, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on gas fees that ultimately didn't even pan out on whatever operation or transaction you were trying to do on the Ethereum blockchain. Just wasted money. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you today how much these other side land NFTs, new metaverse that Yuga Labs is creating, how much they've spent, or actually I should say wasted, on trying to attempt to get these NFTs. Insane. I think this is literally a harbinger or a canary in the coal mine, whatever saying and analogy you want to use. This is to me showing me that was kind of the top in the mania over NFTs. NFTs are not going away. ICOs have not gone away. It's still a mechanism for fundraising for many companies outside the US, of course. Will we see regulation where people can't launch NFTs in the United States in the future? Very possible. You know how our government is. But we're going to take a look at how much was wasted and the drama behind this sale. To me, I still think ApeCoin is a great coin to long-term look to invest in, dollar cost average in, but not right now because Bitcoin is tanking. I told you guys it would be. I got my shorts on, cargo shorts on, and they're getting full because I'm making big money with these shorts. But I think if Bitcoin continues to go lower, which I think it will, then all the altcoins got to head with it. You know, I see all these guys out here when I go on BitBoy and I see other guys talk about TA on altcoins. It's irrelevant. It is completely irrelevant if Bitcoin is going to head lower fundamentally, right? So you can do all the TA you want in the world. That means nothing if Bitcoin heads lower with the equities markets. All right. So we're going to take a look at that. Hey, I hate to be the person that said I told you so. I'm Michael Saylor, Crypto Blood, told you so. You're going to get your nuts clipped. I've said this so many times on BitBoy, on Crypto Keeper, on my channel. Look, you can't take publicly traded funds, which should be allocated really toward what your company is all about. You shouldn't be taking that, leveraging it. That's the main thing, leveraging it and buying Bitcoin. That is going to end in a catastrophic failure, in my opinion, in the short run. And I say, yeah, long term, everyone says, yeah, well, this is a long term play. It's not a long term play if you're trading on margin. If you're trading on borrowed money, then there's a line in the sand where you're going to get margin call. So we're going to take a look at what that is for MicroStrategy's, what price in Bitcoin, as you guys can see on the screen, because many people call it the sailor line at $31,000 Bitcoin, but really it's a lot lower. So the CFO, they've made a switch in their CFO. This is like today. I found this news out today. MicroStrategy's has swapped out their CFO. Not sure why, but hey, could be someone under the fire because of, allowing Michael Saylor to lead the company in the direction they shouldn't be going. The CFO, really his responsibility to push back, or maybe he left because he did push back and the CEO, the big boss, didn't want to go that route. That's very possible as well. And again, another topic very closely related to the other side metaverse released by Yuga Labs, ApeCoin. ApeCoin, you had to have ApeCoin to actually buy those metaverse NFTs. So it's crashing. We'll talk about that, touched on it a little bit, but I think it's still a great coin. You can get it at a much cheaper price though. All that on today's episode of My Two Satoshis. Let's get it. But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. So we first, we got to take a look at the technicals, ladies and gents. And unfortunately, we made a big move down just a couple hours ago. I'm still short. I'll go to my algo trades here in a second. I've been flip-flopping a little bit, but finally got it right with this short, and we are in the money with this short right now. But what I want to show you is this line right here. We've essentially, this area right here has been breached. Okay, so we're now below that area of support. I think at this point we had lowered to $34,000 Bitcoin. And then at that point, maybe we take a rest and maybe bounce like we did back here in February. We made a nice clean bounce off of that and took us back up. Maybe that's what happens there. But at this point, technically, we had lower. There's no area of support to look at. And I haven't looked at the stock markets, but I knew it would be down just like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is following very closely the NASDAQ and the tech stocks. To be more specific, NASDAQ down almost 5%. That's crazy. Look at the Dow Jones down 1,000 points today. And you know why? Well, the market is finally digesting that, look, the Fed is going to have to continue at these rates and slow down the economy, slow down the stock market. And guess what? The stock market slows down, the economy slows down. People ain't going to be buying Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. It just is what it is. I said this over the weekend, Crypto Keeper on Debate Crypto. Look, it's very easy for us crypto influencers to just go ahead and follow the trend of being so optimistic all the time about cryptos. Because if we come out and say we're not looking too optimistically or too sure in the short run on the price of Bitcoin, then influencers feel like they will get a lot of hate from that. I really don't care. I'm going to give you what my opinion is, regardless of the hate. Thick skin, man. I'm from Detroit, man. We really don't care. So I'm going to give it to you how I feel. If I'm right or wrong, I'm still going to give you my opinion. So I have no problem telling you, and haven't been for a while, look, we're heading lower. We have to, because of the Federal Reserve. Unfortunately, they've backed themselves into a corner. They have to raise interest rates. There's too much debt out there. They've lost $500 billion since this year, the Federal Reserve, because of what's going on in the Treasury and bond market and all that. More complicated, really not for this video or channel at this point, but they are in a pickle, and they got to make sure they slow this economy down and really start to slow down the pace of inflation. Okay, I know, Reggie Militant has said that he doesn't think that them raising rates is actually going to do anything. He thinks that they're just trying to get back in front of the markets, because the markets have run in front of them. That's possible. Whatever the case may be, interest rates are rising, whether it be because of a recession that we're having. Maybe the recession will slow down things and without even the Fed really having to do it, but they'll of course take credit. So it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are heading lower in the crypto markets, and if Bitcoin heads lower, your altcoins are going to get slaughtered. Michael Saylor hasn't been in Bitcoin that long, so I don't care how much you've studied something. If you haven't experienced it firsthand, it's some things that you miss. It's some things you can't pick up by looking at charts from the past. You just can't. You got to be in it. And so many of you and me, I've been in this game for a long time, and I've been through a lot of bull and bear markets going back to 2013. Leveraging your trade is not a good idea unless you really know what you're doing. You're actively trading, and even if you are actively trading, it should only be like 10% of your entire portfolio that you're leveraging and trading actively. And speaking of Bitcoin, let's take a look at this Fortune article. And this is pretty crazy, because we thought that and this is actually a good sign. This is good, because we thought it was $31,000 or $30,700 was the Saylor line. Actually, it's lower than that, so that's great. And this is not hearsay. We found this out because of a recent quarterly earnings call that MicroStrategy had. Of course, they have to have these calls every quarter, being a publicly traded company, and they have to disclose these types of things. And basically, yeah, the line in the sand isn't 30,700. That's their average price. It really is $21,000. And again, this was revealed by their CFO. And we'll get to that portion of it. There's some drama with that. The CFO explained on the company's first quarter earnings call on Tuesday of this week. The price falls below 21,000. They got a margin call. They got to pony up more cryptocurrency to back its $205 million Bitcoin collateralized loan, so they can sell some of their collateralized Bitcoin position. Or the CFO did say that they had quite a bit, quote unquote, what that means, I don't know, but they have quite a bit of uncollateralized Bitcoin, meaning there isn't a loan against it. They just have these owned free and clear, which is really, to me, the way they should have been doing this in the first place. They shouldn't have gotten greedy. They shouldn't have been out here leveraging their position. Just own Bitcoin outright on the books and just leave it at that. That way you don't have to worry about any short-term gyrations in this market, because you will get that. This is a volatile market. So I think, you know, it's a mistake that they did this leverage position. Should have been just an uncollateralized position in Bitcoin. That way, if it went to $5,000, really doesn't matter. From an accounting standpoint, it actually does. I talked about this in a prior video. I'll try to find that video for you, but it actually doesn't do them any benefit if it drops, because they have to mark to market. And then if it goes back up, some way the rules are with the SEC and you know, these publicly traded companies, if it heads higher, they can't change it and mark to market at a higher price after it comes down. So it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. So again, they're saying that they can use some of their uncollateralized Bitcoin to cover any margin requirements if they do hit $21,000 or lower Bitcoin. But to me, that just kind of puts a target on them. Like, the market loves to stop people out. And so I think now, like, the market has known, okay, one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin, publicly known, line in the sand is $21,000 Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and push the market down. I don't think that's the reason it would happen. I think it's heading lower just because of what you see what the stock market is doing. It's going to head lower toward that area, in my opinion, just fundamentally from like a macro standpoint, not because it's some conspiratorial group or something trying to stop MicroStrategy's out. But I'm just saying, like, as we get closer to that price, like, you know, the markets may really try to stop them out. And I said I wanted to touch on it really quickly, that CFO situation. Actually, today, MicroStrategy's just hired Green Sky CFO as its financial chief. So it doesn't look like, I said at the beginning of the video, they were replacing the current CFO. That's not true, but they're hiring a financial chief. I don't know what that even means. Is that the new CFO? I'm not sure. If you guys know any information further than this, let me know. But he was, the guy they're hiring was the former CFO of Green Sky, which was a home improvement lender. They're going to be making a lot more changes, I guarantee you. Michael Saylor is the CEO, but when you're dealing with a publicly traded company, the board can fire the CEO. Wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin drops too. So I got some of my people in crypto talking about $7,000 Bitcoin. I don't think we're going that low, but it's very possible. I don't think we're going that low. When we start getting $15,000, $10,000 Bitcoin, boy, heads will be rolling at MicroStrategy's for sure. Be a great time for you to buy though. And so the other thing I wanted to touch on is this ApeCoin / other side NFT release. Man, over $157 million worth of Ethereum permanently destroyed. And this is like, this is just, again, I guess go back to 2017 when all of us who were there were just this ICO frenzy. I mean, we didn't mind spending or blowing, not mind spending. Spending, usually when you spend something, you get something in return. We didn't mind blowing hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of dollars to purchase or try to get into an ICO release. Same thing happened again, ladies and gentlemen. This time, over $157 million worth of Ethereum was just vanished, burned. You had some users from this other side or other deed NFT pay over $14,000 in gas just to mint 4 other deeds. I mean, that is just, it's such a waste of money. It literally doesn't add to any productivity within the ecosystem. The money is just vanished. It's gone. The interesting thing about this though is that Yuga Labs came out and said they're going to reimburse people for their wasted gas. So that means, you know, they made $320 million. There was $152 or $57 million worth of gas just wasted. So that means if everyone, we know everyone won't, but let's just say 50% of the people ask for a reimbursement, That's like $70 million into their earnings. That's not a small fee. That's not a small percentage cutting into their earnings. So again, this guy spent $14,000 in gas. Another person spent almost $7K in failed transactions and nothing in return. This raises another issue with Ethereum. We know it's heading toward proof of stake. We know that, but man, it couldn't come any faster. This is just insane. This is totally unacceptable, and it just shows you how early we are and how underdeveloped this infrastructure is for layer 1 blockchains like Ethereum. Now, you wouldn't have had this problem on, let's say, any of the EOS.io chains. I know it sounds like I'm chilling right now. You would have had that problem with Solana because it would have jammed up and the damn blockchain would have crashed and it would have had to reset the servers. You know what I mean? So there are a number of blockchains out there that could have handled this, Wax being one, you know, Telos being another. So it's not like it, you know, there aren't chains out there. It's just unfortunately like the masses just don't get it. They don't care. But that just lets you know where we are in this cycle. I think we're in a frenzy bubble cycle in cryptos along with stocks. It's just not cryptos. I'm not just hating on cryptos, people. It's everything. It's an everything bubble right now. The ApeCoin, which you had to have to purchase this land, has taken a hit as well. Ethereum became the most congested, of course. We know about that. They're going to reimburse and all that good stuff, you know, but this coin did surge 50% and hit an all-time high of $26 in anticipation for the others deed sale. Now, I said this in prior videos that was just a bid up to the actual event. People needed the coin to purchase the actual NFT. So that makes sense. And since the release or the sale ended, of course, people no longer needed the coin, so prices had to come back. At the time recording, I'm seeing this bad boy trading at $13.84. Now you got to go back and look. I mean, it was as low as I think $6. It came out the gate at $6 or something like that. So it's still well from its initial lows. It can go lower, and we saw a breach here on the coin. The floor just got breached maybe about an hour or two ago. So I think it heads lower as well. Who knows? Like, it's wherever Bitcoin is going is where, you know, this is going to go in proportion. Lower is going to go, but I would say this. I think this coin, this ApeCoin, is going to be a very, very good lucrative position for people in the crypto space, because we know that Yuga Labs has the recipe for success. They know how to drive value into their ecosystem. You know, all these Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, people are licensing them out to movies, and you have cats that own them creating restaurants, and you got to have an NFT to get in there. I think you're going to eventually have it where you'll need the ApeCoin to do certain things in certain places and so on and so forth. I think they're going to drive and create value around the NFT. That's already done. The coin and the metaverse, that's coming. I would be buying ApeCoin, dollar cost averaging here. I think we go much lower, probably like 50 to 60% lower, maybe even 70% lower from these prices. So don't put all your chicken in right now. I'm not saying that. I'm not even telling you to buy it. I'm just saying look at it. I think it has some potential long term. If there was any coin that was going to have that type of longevity, would be a Yuga Labs released coin, in my opinion. So let me know in the comments below. Do you think ApeCoin is one to buy? I would love to know. If not, tell me a coin that you would buy in lieu of buying the ApeCoin. If you only had to buy one or the other, what's the other? Let me know in the comments below. It's your boy Crypto Blood. And that's my 2 Satoshis today. All right, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Click that bell, all that good stuff. I'm out of here.